So, welcome, guys. We're having an amazing event today. We've had so many amazing speakers sharing so many different nuggets. I've made already 3-4 pages of notes, and we are now with Munira. So, I'd love to introduce Munira Zahabi. She's the Niche Navigator, and her topic today is the Eve Principle. Now, Munira does so many amazing different things, and she will be able to explain a little bit more about that now. So, shortly after Munira's session, we are actually going to go into a short break. And this will actually be it's only going to be like a 5-minute break. So if you do run over, we might have to miss out the break and just go straight into the other session. We'll see how it goes. But for now, over to you, beautiful, wonderful Munira, who's actually joining us from Chicago, guys. So over to you.
Thank you so much, Suman. Thank you, everybody. What a wonderful lineup. What have you learned today? See, one of the things that we all want is to receive the riches. And how many of us have always wanted to be on the top of our games so that we can accept what we have coming to us, right? And tell you a story. A few springs ago, my husband and I decided to take a car ride. Just go to just go on a drive. Just simple. And we were literally 7 minutes from our house. It was a sunny day, the first one after the winter, and it was just a beautiful, glorious day. And 7 minutes into our drive, I see a sign that says, estate sale, everything must go. And I convinced my husband, took a lot, but I convinced him to take me to the estate sale. We went there. It was a beautiful house. This neighborhood had multi-million-dollar homes, and the house that we went to had a horseshoe driveway. On the driveway was a beautiful canary yellow sports car. And on the windshield was a price that said $5,000. I was like, told my husband, let's check this car out. And he goes, you don't need a car. I said, yes, I do. This one I need because it's the right price. He checked it reluctantly, men. He did what he did have to do. And he did check, and he told me it's a good car. We walked up. We needed to drive it. So I walked up to the house, and on the front door was open, and right there, parked in front of the front door, was a table with a laptop on it, a few pieces of paper, and this girl, blonde hair girl, about 20-ish, chewing her gum obnoxiously and scrolling on her phone. So I asked her, I said, is the car sold? And she goes, no, everything's marked. And I said, can we drive it? And she goes, 2 of you can't go. So you have to leave your keys here if you want to take that for a spin. I took the keys that she handed me, and I went and gave them to my husband, and she was eyeing me, thinking I'm going to steal the car or something. My husband drove it. In the meantime, I'm just waiting, and I started asking this woman questions, and I said, so why are you selling this stuff? And she goes, the old bat died. She didn't leave us anything. I was like, that's not good. Anyways, so I wanted the car. My husband said it's a good car. It had only 10,000 miles on it. It's good in perfect condition. And I said, you want $5,000. Will you accept a check? And she goes, no checks, cash only. I said, only have 3,000. She goes, are you going to give it to me in cash? And I said, I have to go get it. I don't carry that kind of money around. She was like, go get it and I'll sell it to you. So I took the keys from my husband and put them in my purse, went to the poster and pulled it off. And I told her, I said, here, keep this. I'm going to go and look around while my husband gets the money. And I pushed my husband. I said, go get the money. You can resell this car and make some money out of it. Now that business mind of mine is working, right? My husband goes again reluctantly, and I walk inside the house, and I come to this dining room. It's a beautiful dining table that seats about 18 people. And on the wall is a portrait of what I think is the lady who's passed on. She was wearing a very navy blue dress, and she had a string of pearl around her hair. She had her hair done in a very aristocratic manner, something that pops out of the 18th century, And I thought, wow, this woman is something else. I walked away and came back. Now, I was there because I wanted a frame, because I have a big house and I wanted something to put on the walls. And I was like, I need something classy. Yeah? And I'm thinking, nah. But I go out of the room and I come back like immediately because I see something that caught my eye. Under the picture was an inscription that said, "The treasures you seek are within me. The treasures you seek are within me. Seek and you shall find." I didn't think much about it, and I just started mulling around because I knew my husband's going to be a little while. So I just went around the house, the kitchen, the other living room, and everything else. And by the time I climbed up the stairs and went into one room, into another room, I found myself into this lady's, what I think was the master bedroom. There was a few things sitting around. This woman had exquisite taste. The curtains, the bedspread, everything was amazing. Now, let me tell you something. I walk in, and on the dresser are some pieces of jewelry that are sitting there. And I pick a few things. And, my daughter likes jewelry, big rings. And I said, oh, this is going to be fine. And I'm not thinking, right? I just pick up stuff. And then there's this bracelet that's broken that I pick up. And I'm thinking, oh, you know what? My granddaughter has a new jewelry making set. She can just put this together. And it could be a fun project we could do together. So I'm putting things up in a little bowl thing they have sitting everywhere. And something catches my eye. A picture on the nightstand was beautiful. It was an old black and white picture of this woman and what seemed to be her husband, and just looking at it. And I thought, this frame is really good. But something else caught my eye. It was the pearl necklace around her neck. So I opened up the other drawers and I found the necklace that she was wearing. Now, I wasn't sure if it was real or not, but hey, you know what? It's something my granddaughter can play with, and it's about $10. So I just put it in my basket. And then as I turned around, I hit something with my foot. Somebody had dropped a bracelet. I picked it up, switched on the lamp by the bed, and what happened was there was little light beams that came off from the lampshade. It didn't make sense, right? But somebody had painstakingly attached little gems, if you will, on the lamp, and it made a beautiful silhouette. And I thought again of my granddaughter and said, this is perfect for her. So I picked up the frame. But something else told me something, there was an uncanny feeling. So I go back out, and as I was climbing the staircase, I realized that this woman had a lot of pictures. I go back and I look at all of the pictures. This woman was wearing the same pearl necklace in all of the pictures. And I had it in my possession. And something inside of me said, oh my God, maybe this is real. I don't know. But I just picked everything up and I went back to the portrait and I pulled the picture out. I couldn't do it. It was heavy. And just then, about 20 minutes later, my husband walks in and he goes, oh, there you are. And I said, help me pull this picture out. And he goes, you and your pictures. And I said, yes, can you just help me, please? He did. It was heavy. as we moved it, something inside it rattled. And I just had this uncanny feeling that this woman had hidden whatever she had hidden inside of her. And people who were selling this stuff didn't pay attention. We paid off the monies, did the paperwork for the car, and instead of driving into the sunset with my husband, we went home, took all of the jewelry that I had picked up, whatever pieces I had, and I called my husband's friend who's a jeweler, and he told me to get to his store within 20 minutes, and I did. And he said, "Where'd you get this stuff?" And I said, at this estate sale. And he goes, "Give me the address. If they have more, I want more of it, because the value." And I screamed. And the next thing I know is my husband's peering at me, right? Now, we all want these things to come true. We all want stuff. We all want to win $1 million or the lottery or something, right? But we forget the journey we have to take. This woman and her family, that was the woman at the front door, her family wanted this woman's inheritance. But what this older woman had done, she had hidden all of her things within the house. She had expected them to find it. But she was okay with strangers taking away stuff, because that's what happens if the people who do not pay attention to what they have. And we just look for things in reality, but we don't look at the inner gems. So reverse engineering the Eve principle, we all want to receive, but we forget that we have to work to achieve, right? That's my second principle. Going back down from a pyramid. So think of a pyramid here. The first thing we want to do is receive the apex. But below that, we have the journey that we have to take, that we have to achieve. We have to make this journey to get to this point. But in order to get to that point, even start the journey, we got to believe. We got to believe in it. These people may have believed, or they may have conceived this idea, this old woman is going to leave everything to us and I'm going to receive it. But they forgot the 2 steps. They forgot the belief part of it. And to achieve it, we all expect things given to us. But we never know that we have to work hard for everything that comes our way. Listen, people, I am an author. I wrote a book called The Principles of Niche Philosophy. We all want to receive. But in order to receive, we've got to find what our purpose is. And that purpose comes in our why, or comes in a niche, or comes through us. And I'll tell you one thing, that we look for outer things outside our realm, and wait for things to happen. I'll tell you one thing, sir, ladies, gentlemen, it's within you. You need to look inwards, not outwards. That woman had an inscription written on her frame. It said, "The things you seek are within me." If these people had checked, that frame had a lot of stuff that I'm not going to say this, but this is a very vivid dream I had. And it's taken me 5 years to figure it out. It was literally a dream. I can still see the house. I can still see the car. I can still see the woman's picture. I don't know what God was telling me then, but it's taken me 5 years to decipher this dream and to figure out that everything out there is for grabs. But to get to the outside, you have to take an inside journey. So the Eve principle, ladies and gentlemen, starts with conceiving. You have this idea. Everything that you have on your desk, in your home, in your kitchen, everything is an idea that came to fruition. Why are you sitting on your idea? Why don't you conceive it, accept it, then believe in it? You know, if Thomas Edison had decided, I'm not going to work on this bulb, we would all be sitting in darkness. Or somebody else would have come and done it. However, he did it, and we all have light. We have the electric bulb. But it took 1,000 tries, and he didn't give up. He believed he could make it happen. So let's make it happen. You know, that idea that's sitting inside of you, needs to sprout. Let's water it. Let's give it some oxygen. Believe in it. That's how you do it. And then you achieve it to receive it. Thank you so much.
That's amazing, Munira. I was so like gripped by that story. I was like, literally, you talked me all through. I felt like I was with that girl and could see that car, and it's such an amazing. And I've even put in the chat here, what a metaphor for life. Like, the treasures are in us, and what you said about, like, sometimes we can miss those blatant signs. Like, we have universal signs all around us. I truly believe that we have angel signs, universal signs, whatever you want to call it. We have guidance continuously if we choose to tap into it. And sometimes we just have a bit of clouded judgment, because everything that everybody's spoken about today so far, there's so many different layers, but this self-awareness and shifting to this space of clearing that clouded judgment, we can start seeing the signs and we can start taking action on the back of them. So I thought that was amazing what you shared.
You know, it's because we have self-doubt. If we get rid of that and accept, we will not have a problem. But we are
you have the viewers here now of how, if they are feeling in a really doubtful space where they just don't have that belief in themselves, what could be the first thing they could do? Some little nugget that can help them start dispelling this doubt.
Write it down. Write it down and look at it every single day. Because if you know that this idea could become something, writing it down, one, proves that you are going to put it down on paper, right? And then it manifests. And then it's like a mantra. I see it. I see it. It's going to happen. I can see it happen.
You know, when every single day, like, I know Bob Proctor talks about this, writing your goal every day and writing it more than once as well. Like, some people, if you've got the time and energy for, write it again and again.
No, but the thing is, you just put it down on a paper where you can see it every single day. You have to know.
I work with the guys like in a workshop, and I've literally got that, and I look at that every day when I'm doing my work.
And that's what happens, right? Because if you keep seeing it, you know you have to take action.
Yeah.
And that doubt doesn't creep in, because that doubt is that it's what you've been built in, something that you've built in over time. And you keep saying, oh, and half of the people don't comply with their ideas because they talk themselves out of it all the time, not somebody else, themselves.
Yeah.
So
I talk about this a lot as well. Self-sabotage. We get in our own way. We need to get out of our own way. Like, we've got to stop stopping ourselves.
Write it down. Make sure you see it every day. I have these little boards that I buy at dollar store, and I have them everywhere. My grandkids think that it's funny to have such things around.
Well, you're actually training them from a young age, so I think it's good that they see that. They'll get it at some stage. You just keep doing what you need to do. But no, that's been amazing. So we are leading up to a break, a very short break now. It's leading up to 10 past now. I'm looking this way because I've got my little, I should really put my schedule on the stand here by the screen. I'll probably put it over here. But yeah, we're going to come back at quarter past, and actually we've got until 20 past because Nadia's going to be starting with us at 20 past. So if we have a chance to start Nadia's session a little bit earlier, we will, just for the interest of time for the rest of the sessions in that segment. But feel free that in the short break, if you want to connect, either you can stay in this session. I think we need to close the session in order for me to go to the arena. I'm not too sure of the technical side. Tristan can help with that. But yeah, we've got a couple of minutes, so get a light refreshment, get yourself a drink, and if you do have any more questions, we've got a couple of more minutes with Munira. If anybody does want to put their hand up, come on screen, more than happy to get you on screen. But yeah, so far so good. All the talks have kept me on the edge of my seat, and it's such a pleasure to connect with Munira. And on the back of connecting with Munira, actually, there's an opportunity that's opened up with myself. I'll be interviewed on Munira's podcast on the 31st of May. So, Munira, do you want to share with the audience what your podcast is about and what types of topics you share on that?
So, being the niche navigator, I talk about niches, and I'm interested in people's journeys to where they are right now and how they got here, because we want to receive, right? And the apex and that achieve part is very, very hard. So when I talk about how they conceived and how they believed, and then their journey to where what they are doing today. It's a 20-minute show every Monday. We do it Facebook Live on my page, but I also share it on YouTube. My thinking is, let's get you working. The idea behind this is there are people sitting and standing on the sidelines, not taking action. If they hear other people's story and they resonate, then they can take action. So
and
this
exactly
is
the purpose of today's session as well. Yeah, absolutely spot on. I love that. What's your Facebook group? If is that open to everybody, or is it certain people?
My Facebook page is just Munira Zahabi. You can look at that. But I have a private group where it's called Niche Strategies. And so come on in, because we share little secrets all the time. So I would love to have
secrets. I'll be joining you on those secrets for sure. So yeah, okay. We'll head out of this session now, have a short break, and I'll catch you guys then back with Nadia's talk around 20 so in the next 10-15 minutes we'll be back. I'll go in my booth as well, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you. Bye everybody.